Chicken Snubby here with a review of the Nendoroid Red from Pokemon, because I love Pokemons. So, this was a Pokemon Center exclusive toy in Japan. It wasn't available at any other stores except for the Pokemon Centers, and it was brought over here for sale on our Pokemon Center website, as well as Amazon, I believe, stocked these too. And so the package is a little bit different than the Cynthia one that we're going to take a look at. The packaging here is open face, not a whole lot different than the Japanese packaging outside of some numbering and of course all of the text being in English. That's really about the only difference in the packaging. I believe the packs might be different too, but the design is all there. Now, for those that don't know, since I never actually reviewed one of these on my channel, Nendoroid are basically, you remember the chibi arts from Tamashii Nations? They're much like that. They're chibified figures of your favorite people from video games, anime, movies, and the like. All cute and little and adorable and adorbs and stuff. So, yeah, pretty cool. I did pick this up from Pokemon Center way back when it was originally released, like last year or something like that, for about $50, $49.99 or so, give or take. So, enough about the box. You can see how adorable he is right here. He does include Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and, we'll not get this open because it's already open, but let's bring in the figure. And here he is. Now, of course, you can see right off the bat that he does come with two additional faces for different expressions. Little figures of Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, as well as a handful of alternate legs and hands and arms and a Master Ball. And it's really cool. We'll take a look at all the accessories one by one shortly. Moving everything off to the side and just focusing on the figure right here. He's actually really nice. He's probably about 4 inches, give or take. I never actually measured it, but here is the usual next to a Coke can comparison for a rough idea of what we're looking at over here. So they're not that big, so you can save some space by getting these. They're not full-fledged 6-inch action figures or anything like that. So, pretty nice. He does come with a stage. All Nendoroids come with the same sort of little stage setup. Come out. There we go. So this just kind of plugs in right there. And so here's your little stage. The peg can kind of go into any of these slots right here, but it fits most comfortably back here. The other ones seem to be a little bit too thick for it. So you can kind of set it wherever you want, whatever pleases you. Now, the stand is optimal because trying to stand these guys up, at least Red, with no stand, is definitely a little bit of a problem. He's got a really big head, you see. Being the champion of the Kanto region does that to you. But, so standing them up without the stand is quite difficult, so I do urge you to go ahead and use the stand. My only complaint about the figure is that a lot of the pieces do just like to come off. The backpack doesn't hold on to his back all that well, and I'll show that off shortly, and his arms aren't in there all that tightly, but that's your mileage may vary sort of thing, and I don't really want to highlight it because not all figures are going to be as loose as mine. So as you can see, he absolutely captures the look of Red from Fire Red and Leaf Green, which is really cool. I know a lot of people probably would have liked OG Red, but I think more people are probably familiar with this one by now. And I certainly like this design a lot better than the original. Not that they are, there we go, too different from one another. So, as highlights, obviously you do have his backpack, which is fully removable. All you have to do is pop his head off and then slide that right off. And you can pop that right on to give him a backpackless look. Kind of like his look in some scenes in Pokemon Origins, though that was a slightly different design as well. So, there is that. You don't have to have the backpack on him. There is a peg back here that will plug right into the stand. So if you don't want to use the backpack, his back still has a peg for stand use, as does the backpack itself. So that's kind of cool. They kind of have you cover all your bases. Little VS Seeker plugged into the clip of the backpack, which I think is really cool. Very much a staple Pokemon card nowadays, and it was very useful back in the video game as well. So, articulation-wise, obviously we have a kind of swivelly ball joint thingy on the head, so you get all sorts of movement up there. Obviously, because of how big his head is, he can't really look up all that much, or well, he can look down a pretty decent amount, but he can't look up all that much. That's about as far as they're gonna get, which isn't that bad at all. Now, there's no joints on the actual arms; they're all just pegs and holes. So you have some kind of simplistic swiveling going on there. The legs, however, are a little bit different. They're on these little ball swivels. So you get rotations and up and down vertical movement as well. So you get a little bit of posability, not a whole lot, but these aren't meant to be superposable figures or anything like that. Now, in terms of the additional accessories, here is a bunch of different limbs. You have alternate hands, alternate arms, an alternate leg. Now, the alternate leg is meant as sort of this weird pose sort of leg. I mean, it's something that you could probably pull off, which is a normal leg, but it's meant to kind of give him a little bit of a crouch forward, which is really hard to see in a figure of this size and stature. But basically, you have the Pokeball hand, and you can have him throwing the Pokeball. So it's meant to give him a little bit of a forward arch, as if he was throwing the Pokeball. So that's about all that's really good for. I'm sure there's other poses you can try to pull off with it too, but I'm just going to stick with normal foot and normal leg, because normality. Now, in terms of other hands, obviously you have one where, and I just threw it, one that he's holding a Pokeball flat out. So all you have to do to switch those is pull the arm out of the shoulder, apparently, and plug it right into kind of the elbow-ish bicep area that it unplugs. And now he's holding the Pokeball. And another interesting one is this one right here. So if you pull that one off at the same place and plug that one in, the little blue lump is supposed to represent a pocket. So now, if you kind of tilt his head a little bit to the right, he's representing red and basically his static Sugimori art, where he has his head in his pocket and he's holding a Pokeball, which is probably how I'm going to actually end up displaying him, just like this. I think it looks really cool, so I dig it. So there's that. You can also replace the Pokeball with a Master Ball. You have a tiny little Master Ball right here. Alternatively, you have a hand that is holding a Pokédex. So if you wanted to use that arm instead, you can have him checking his Pokédex. He's looking up some datas. And here is that arm that I was talking about. You get a full shoulder for this one because it's going to be arced differently than the other arm. So if you wanted to, let's see, take this arm off and give him just the normal hand, and we'll give him the Master Ball. He's summoning Mewtwo or something like that. Line up the peg in the hole in the arm, which is very difficult to do when it's not right next to your face and you can't see because you're blind as a Zubat. Sure, we'll go at that. So pretend he's like throwing the Master Ball. He's going to catch Mewtwo, or he's summoning Mewtwo or whatever. So you have that as well. Additionally, there's an alternate neck joint. I think it's just an extra. Sometimes the neck joints are different. I stress the sometimes. You can pop his hat off, and that will let you switch the heads. I will go over that in a minute. I can't even get this out. But it's an alternate neck joint. I'm not sure if it's any different or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Sometimes it will change the length of the neck in order for you to get some better poses. So you have that as well. So to change the faces, like I said, you take off his hat and then you can pull his face right out. And then you can switch it with his happy face. And that back up. He's super happy to not have another arm. I would be really happy as well. So you can give him a super cute happy face, or you can pop that right off. Switching the heads is actually, or faces is actually really super easy. I say as I don't line it up properly. Or you can give him sort of the shouty, battle ready face if you want to pretend that he's in the heat of battle. You can do that as well. I'm just going to stick with the normal kind of bewildered, serious face. That's not a bewildered face at all. I don't know English quite well in this video, or any of my videos, but so here we go. Pretty simple. If we move Red to the side real quick, just take a look at the little figures included. Here is the little Bulbasaur. These remind me a little bit of the Jack-specific figures that are out right now. They're a little bit smaller. Here's the Jack-specific Trico. That's out. I guess they're kind of in scale. I think Bulbasaur should be a little bit bigger, but they're moderately in scale with the actual people, which is actually what is really nice about this set. Here is Charmander, looking really adorable, and of course here is Squirtle. Really cute. So I like this set quite a bit. I'm not really sure what pose I'm going to end up in, but there's a lot of fun stuff that you can do. I really like these. I've collected a few Nendoroids over the years. Right now I have Isabelle from Animal Crossing, Link from Wind Waker. I've got Link from Majora's Mask on pre-order. Obviously I picked up Red, and Cynthia is next up on the review schedule. N is supposed to be out pretty soon, and that looks really cool too. He comes with a really awesome looking Reshiram, which is really neat. So these are great figures. If you're a Pokemon fan, this is one of the few representations of Red you can get that's out on the market. If you're a fan of the chibi style, you have absolutely no reason to pass this up or any reason to be disappointed with the release. I like the selection of different items that he can use. It would be cool if there was some other ones, like maybe a potion or something like that, but it's got the essentials. It's got the Pokeball, the Master Ball, the Pokedex. Really, that's all you need, and I think the VS Seeker included on his backpack is a nice touch as well. I like it a lot. The $50 price tag can be a little bit to turn people off. It's not that tall of a figure for $50, but what you end up getting is well worth the price in my opinion, especially because it's a Japanese collector's product, and that kind of high price tag is the norm for things like this. I like it a lot. It's a really, really hard figure to find now, and I really apologize to getting this so late, so anyone that really wants it after seeing my video is going to have to go through a lot of hoops or a lot of money to get a hold of it. But if this does happen to eventually get a re-release of some sort, or you do happen to stumble upon one on eBay or Japanese auction sites or anything like that, I do recommend picking it up. It's a great little figure for any Pokemon fan, no matter when you started. Really dig it. So, that about does it for this review. If you like it, go ahead and blast that like button, comment below, and subscribe for more. So, as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye!